Good afternoon, everyone. The will of God will bring us to this. The will of God will bring us to this. What is this? Well, we'll get to that in just a moment. As many of you know, I had just got back from a vacation down in Australia where we'd get a cuppa at Macca's, stand in a queue for the dunny, all of those good things. Very wonderful trip. I have to say, it's a little shock to come back. It was summer there. And I was there on Sunday, which was the hottest day recorded in 17 years in Australia. 117 degrees. Okay. Yes, little different here. Okay. But it's wonderful to be back. As I promised, we offered Mass every single day. Part of my intentions in the Mass was to offer Mass for all of you and your intentions, and also we continue to pray the office so you don't take a vacation from your vocation. Okay, so you go on vacation, we continue to go to Mass and continue to worship the Lord. Just a quick review. One thing, we go back to Christmas and we remember the Christmas message, which was this: the greatest gift that we can, that is given is the gift that saves. The gift that brings eternal peace, and that is Jesus Christ. And we are called during our preparations in Advent to really allow our wills to be malleable to the Lord so that we could be filled with His divine life and that we could bring that Christmas message to the world. Because again, they yearn for it. And we do too. We got to be constantly reminded that this ache that we have right here is not going to be filled by popularity. It's not going to be filled with more money. It's not going to be filled with that position that we really want. It is not going to be filled when everything is just perfect, because it never will be. It's filled with divine life. And that's the peace that comes to us in the Incarnation. We were also reminded in a very similar message when we celebrated the Feast of the Holy Family that we have a Holy Family that is a real family. Sometimes, again, we put the Holy Family in plastic, or we put them way up here, distant from us. Now, indeed, they were the perfect family in a very real way, but they lived a challenging life. Think about all the difficulties that the Holy Family went through. And yet Mary is immaculately conceived and doesn't know sin. Jesus is the Messiah. St. Joseph, obviously a holy man, chosen to take care of Mary and the infant Jesus. And yet they had real hardships, just like you and me. Get up in the middle of the night, go Joseph. They're going to be after Jesus. They're going to kill him. So have you ever had to leave a place that you really loved? Did you ever see a friend who was so dear to you walk out of your life because they had to go to move to a different place? Have your support system ever leave you in any real way? These are things that the Holy Family experienced. Holy Family, real family. So it helps us to know that it was the presence of God, certainly substantially in the Incarnation, but also just knowing and trusting that God would be there, leading and protecting. He is. He was there for the Holy Family. He's there for us and our families as well. So, the will of God will bring us to this. The will of God will bring us to this. What is it? It's change. It's change. If we are seeking the will of God, we will come to change. We look in that first reading, here from 2 Samuel, there's a change about to happen there. Now, it can happen in us seeking willfully God's desires for us. So what is your will for me, Lord? Samuel is answering. He thinks it's Eli. Now, what's going to happen, the bigger picture here, is that Eli is the current judge of Israel. This is before kings. So we have judges, now we'll have kings. Eli is the second to the last judge. Okay? The last judge will be Samuel. So Samuel is now responding to the Lord. Eli is slow to respond and get the message. And in fact, Eli and his sons will again be replaced. Why? Because they did not respond to the will of God, and God was unhappy with their response. So Eli is going to be replaced by Samuel. And that's what's happening here. Eli's slow to pursue the will of God. You can see how Samuel is ready. And when Samuel finally understands, Lord, here am I. I have come to do your will. So, I ask you, what is the one thing more than anything else that is weighing on you now? Maybe if you're a student, it's a grade or a test. Maybe it's a game. So many of you are worried about the Steelers tomorrow. All right. What else? What's really weighing on you? I always encourage people with regards to prayer, if you want to meet God, if you want to hear Him, then first start with what's really on your heart. What is it? Is it finances? Is it the job? Is it something in your relationship with another person? Whatever it is that is really weighing on you, start there. Lord, with regards to this, what do you want me to do? And you'll hear Him, and He will bring change. Now, there could be another way that we come to the will of God. Somebody just grabs a hold of you and takes you by the arm. That's what happened to Simon Peter. He changed as well, so substantial that his name was changed. Simon, son of John, you are now Cephas, which is Peter, the rock. I have to admit that, yes, I got to go to Australia. That was a pretty wonderful thing. But I went there because a good friend of mine, a priest friend, asked me to go along. He was asked to go and give a retreat for religious sisters. And this was not the regular vacation. Sometimes it's just good to get away. For somebody, just not to call me Father. I'm not doing anything crazy, all right? Now, we're just getting away, and it's quiet and peaceful. Go skiing, or go to the beach or whatever. This vacation was spent in between being there for these religious sisters, and then also being there with some family friends that this other priest knew. So every single day, there was somebody there saying, "Hi, Father, how are you? What can we do? Or are we going to do this? Or are you going to have Mass for us?" The sisters were like, "Father, we would like Mass at 7 a.m. "Yes, sister." "Not a problem, sister." Okay, so I would say that John, my father John, took me by the hand and kind of pulled me a little bit on this vacation. Yeah, it was a big money investment. I knew that it wasn't going to be the vacation that I'm used to. But I tell you, the best part of this vacation was not the wonderful Australian sun. It wasn't the beaches. It wasn't the sight of the Sydney Opera House or the opportunity to climb to the top of the Sydney Bay Bridge. It was being in the presence, and I am not exaggerating, the most edifying, refreshing, joyful experience on this vacation was being with those religious sisters. There were 3 of them that lived in the house. All 3 of them had PhDs. All 3 of them had given themselves completely to the Lord and had been transformed, involved in various communities, transforming the world one person at a time. And that included me. I had to preach to them twice. I remember exactly what I said both times, and I believe it was probably more for me than it was for them. So sometimes the Lord will take you by the arm through a friend or another, and he will bring you to his will, and his will change us. Whether we come to him in prayer or by another, let's open our hearts, because ultimately the will of God will bring us to change if we let it.